There's been much anxiety within these buildings in recent days. Since Chancellor Kwasi Kwarteng announced the biggest package of tax cuts in half a century, he's been met with panic. The pound has plunged to a record low, and the package has led to blunt criticism from the International Monetary Fund. Today, in a surprise and significant intervention, the Bank of England has stepped in. They've said they'll buy as much government debt as is necessary to stabilise the economy. A move like this is only done in an emergency and is seen as a U-turn by the bank, who had been preparing to sell off the debts. So how does it work? The government borrows money by selling bonds, sometimes known as gilts. That means investors give the government money and get it back with interest. The Bank of England will now buy some of these bonds from current investors. The idea is this will cause the value of them to increase. That means the interest rate on the bond goes down, which it's hoped will trickle down to make borrowing cheaper for households and businesses.
I'm afraid the government has substantially lost credibility by failing to present a coherent fiscal plan. And the thing about credibility is it's easy to lose, but it takes time and effort to build it up.
This is the bank's first policy intervention as it battles to ease the cost of living crisis being felt across the country. Today we heard food inflation in the UK has hit its highest rate on record. New figures show shoppers are now paying 10.6% more than a year ago.
We can have a small handful of...
This fifth-generation family-run butcher in the West Midlands has weathered many storms since it opened 134 years ago. You've worked here for 20 years. Have you ever seen the business like this before?
It's a little bit unprecedented times. This now seems a little more uncertain. You know, the vibes they get off the customers. I don't think anybody really knows what's going on. We speak to the suppliers like on a weekly basis and they'll start saying, this is up 10 pence a kilo, this is up 20 pence a kilo, which doesn't sound a lot, but when you're buying 400 or 500 kilos a week, it soon adds up. Then if it goes up again the same next week, all of a sudden you can't keep swallowing that as a business. You do have to pass it on to the customer.
My average shop used to be, with the two of us, about £65. Now it's 80, 90.
Wow, it's quite a jump. Has it changed the way you do your shopping?
Yeah, it changes what I cook and what I don't cook.
For me, it affects me personally, but like I say, I've got 5-6 staff that I need to pay for as well, and they need money more quickly, and they're kind of struggling and asking if they can have help with things.
Are you worried about the economy at the moment?
Terrified. I'm just glad I'm not your age, because all this debt they're creating will be left to younger people like yourselves to pay.
This morning, the Chancellor met bosses at major Wall Street banks to reassure investors. But the bank's move reinforces this is now crisis mode. While for many people this winter, they'll be facing their own crisis as they struggle with rising food and energy bills. Emily Wither, 5 News.